Hey everybody, Dirili here. Thank you so much for joining me for another episode of X Malice. At the moment, we were just hanging out with Kay in the park. He took a nap on our shoulder, which ended way too soon. But then again, I do have to kind of go see Saiki anyway. We're supposed to go drinking. And I'm not doing Kay's route first anyway. So, sorry Kay, you're on your own right now. Let's hop back into things. You can just sit back, relax, and let me read you a story. Thinking, I gripped my hands tightly. Everybody has something to hide. Things that we hide to protect something are different than lies we tell to hurt other people. And now I know, you aren't a girl that can lie, so your lies won't hurt someone else. Okazaki. His direct words and confident tone sounded like he'd seen through everything. I was bewildered, but strangely, my heart felt a little lighter. You see, I like straightforward people like you, because I can never be like that. Huh? So this adorable puppy dog thing is a facade? I blinked. He pretty much just said that flat out. Entranced by his gentle smiling eyes, I felt like he was the straightforward one, not I. I wouldn't count on that. And if he's not, then I'm very interested. They made my guilt return with a vengeance. So if I were to tell you a lie that hurt you, what would you do? I'd be a little sad, I guess. Okazaki's glum expression was so faint, it looked like his world would crumble. I was concerned about Okazaki's expression, but he said he had to return to work and just left. Oh, I don't want him to leave like that. I thought I'd have to be on my guard, but maybe it was just the atmosphere. He just backed off. I met up with Saiki at the pub and gloomily took a seat.
What can I get for you?
Oolong.
2 pints of whatever's good on tap.
Saiki, I'm sorry to be a drag, but I'm not really up for drinking today.
What? Fine then, just 1 beer.
Oolong tea, please.
1 draft and 1 oolong tea, right? Coming right up.
I sighed in relief and used the hot towel. I'm tired, but I'm meeting Yanagi's group immediately after this. It wouldn't be a good idea to drink. Oh, just a little should be okay. It's not like you're an alcoholic, right? I felt guilty for not being able to drink with Saiki because he invited me here.
You promised me earlier, but now you're just drinking tea by yourself. What's the matter? Not feeling sociable?
No, having a collar that can kill me at any moment, yeah, makes me kind of unsociable. Kind of hard to forget about. Sorry, I pulled an all-nighter, so I'm really beat.
I'm kidding. I'm just happy that you came.
I was looking forward to today, too. It's been a while since we went drinking together.
Glad to hear it. Well, don't push yourself too hard, okay? It isn't healthy to bottle up your troubles. I came to see you at work today, but you seemed pretty out of it. It looked like more than sleep deprivation. I know you RSCPO folks have a lot to deal with. You just let me know if there's anything I can help with.
Saiki. His words made me tear up. Maybe it's because I was so dejected.
Oh, but I'm kind of low on cash this month, so I probably can't help if it's a money thing.
And that jarred me right back to reality. It was so like him.
Hey, cops are people too. Sometimes we run out of money, right?
Yeah, sure.
Normally, guys have to pay for drinks, so I'm seriously grateful to you for always splitting the bill, Hoshino.
It's not a big deal. We split the tab for as long as I've known you. Well, you should. I mean, you shouldn't expect him to treat you if you're not dating. While we chatted, the server returned with our drinks. I mean, they don't do that in Japan, right? 2 completely platonic friends. The guy doesn't usually pay for the girl, does he? Or is that something I never knew?
I knew you'd understand, Hoshino. You know, I went drinking with those guys from traffic. I told them I became a cop to make people happy and make the world peaceful. They just laughed at me. What's wrong with my dream? That's the purest dream there is, right?
Yeah. After all, you are keeping the peace around here, Saiki.
You got that right. I might not look like it, but I'm a big hit with the kids.
I can see that. You're a pretty friendly guy, Saiki.
Yeah, well, by the way, You had pretty serious reasons for becoming a cop, didn't you?
Serious? Not really. I just wanted to help people who were in need.
Yeah, that's what I mean. That time you picked up a wallet and brought it to the police. Weren't they grateful?
Yeah, I didn't do anything special, but I felt really happy knowing that I could help somebody out.
For sure. SRCPO still listens to people who are in need. I'm sure you'll be of help to someone.
Really? I hope so.
It's true because I'm saying it. Although it'll be hard to help them all. At least, if there are people nearby who are in trouble, you want to help them, right?
Yeah, you're right. My conversation with Saiki helped me to remember my conviction. He's right. I was trapped in this situation, and I stopped looking around me. Right now, the X-Day killings have everyone in the police station on edge. At this very moment, somebody in this town might be targeted. The problem wasn't the collar on my neck. The X-Day incidents were the root of it all. My duty is to preserve peace in Shinjuku. No matter what, I have an obligation to everyone to pursue this until the end. If there was even a chance that I'd help someone who was in a situation like me, a police officer should do what they can. There's no time to hesitate. Thanks a lot, Saiki. I'm feeling much better thanks to you.
I don't know what I just did, but I'm glad I could help. Okay then. Now that you're in a better mood, I'll have another beer.
Hey, maybe you should stop. Had a little too much?
It's cool. I'll take good care of everybody.
Saiki, you're drinking too much. Come on, let's go home. Saiki kept throwing back beers until he ended up passed out on the table. I urged him to get up and shook his body, but I knew he wouldn't wake up in that state. Saiki! Saiki! Hey, wake up!
Girl, for me. It's hard being popular.
Jeez, he always drinks so much even though he can't hold his alcohol. Oh, a text. Oh crap, we're late. Watching Saiki mutter incoherently in his stupor, I took out my phone.
Are you still at work?
It's Yanagi. Oh no, it's already late. It was already past 10 o'clock. I'm sorry, I'll head over shortly.
Any time you come by is fine. You can come after work's done. Let me know when you're heading over.
I'll be around 11.
Got it. I'll let the other guys know.
I hurriedly replied and closed my phone. Excuse me, may we have the check, please?
Just a moment.
Saiki, get ready to go.
Oh no, he's unresponsive.
I called him and pulled on his arm, but Saiki wouldn't return from Dreamland. Damn it, Saiki!
What? Drunkenly weaving around.
Through some miracle, he made it out of the pub, but Saiki wasn't steady on his feet. I'll call you a cab once we're at the main road. Just hang in there until then.
I'm okay. Totally fine. I'll walk home. I can run home too.
That's crazy! Hey, look out! Oh. Before I could grab Saiki's arm, he plowed right into somebody who happened to be walking in front of him. I'm sorry. It was Enomoto.
What are you doing here?
I could ask you the same thing. Both of our eyes went wide, as we never expected to bump into each other here. Once he noticed drunk Saiki, his wide eyes narrowed and Enomoto frowned.
Hey, are you coming back from the bar? Weren't you supposed to come to our office today?
I already had a prior engagement today. I texted Yanagi that I'd come afterwards. Oh, is Enomoto in a bad mood? He gave Saiki a sideways glance.
Is that guy your boyfriend?
Huh? No, Saiki and I don't have that kind of relationship.
That denial seems awfully suspicious to me. Well, it's none of my business.
And yet you still asked.
Well, your friend looks pretty sauced. What are you going to do with him? Obviously, you can't just leave him here. Are you going to call a taxi?
Well, let me think. I'm a bit worried, so I'll probably take him home.
Wait, what? You're planning on taking him... You're going to a man's house?
Well, yeah.
How do I put this? Isn't that bad?
Huh? Bad? I've already had to take him home many times before. That's so funny when they animate them just a little. Like, that little backup was so funny looking.
Many times? You... going to the home of a man who isn't even your boyfriend? Aren't you being too reckless?
Enomoto seemed to be in shock, and he backed away from me. Enomoto?
Are you interested in him?
What? I told you before, it's not like that between us.
That just sounds even fishier. I mean, you two were drinking together. Anyone would assume something was going on.
We were classmates at the police academy. Enomoto's eyes were full of doubt. What reason does he have to be looking at me like that? We'd only just met recently, and he'd used up all the patience I had for him. Enomoto, knock it off or I'm going to get angry.
What the heck? You're already angry.
What did you expect? You keep asking the same question and then you don't listen to me. Oh, step forward. We silently glared at each other. Oh, this is off to a great start.
What's going on? Voices ringing in my head.
Stirring, Psyche opened his eyes. Go back to sleep, baby.
Huh? Who's that?
Huh? I paused at a loss for an explanation. I couldn't tell Psyche the truth.
If it's a relationship you can't talk about, I know he's gotta be your boyfriend.
Oh, God. And that was the straw that broke the camel's back? You gotta be kidding me! Huh?
Huh? Was I wrong?
Very wrong. Of course you are.
Damn right. Who'd date a girl like this?
What? A girl like this?
Well, you know, I thought you looked cool and classy, but you're more feisty than I thought.
What?
Oh, damn it. Anyway, you're not my type.
Well, you're not my type at all either.
What?
Why'd you say it like that? You expect to be everybody else's type? I've never been told that I'm not someone's type before, ever. When I raised my voice during this tit-for-tat, Enomoto seemed to stiffen in surprise.
Oh, really? Is that so? Oh, I see how it is. Well then, I'm glad I'm not your type.
Oh. Oh. He was hanging his head in shame now. Darn it, Enomoto, you're the one who pushed me to this. You have only yourself to blame. You said I wasn't your type first. Did I overdo it? But he's the one that instigated all this nonsense.
Ugh, I got a headache.
I looked over at Psyche, whose face had turned an unhealthy shade of green.
Hey, are you okay? I don't feel so good.
Psyche, get a hold of yourself. I'm getting you a taxi right now. Yeah, I think he'd be kind of hard to drag home in that condition. In the end, Enomoto stepped in and helped me prop up the drunken Psyche. He didn't hesitate and rushed in and graciously helped out. I really needed his help with Psyche. After that argument, this was a surprise, but I guess I didn't know him that well. We got out of the taxi in front of the office, and I turned to Enomoto. You really helped us out. Thank you.
It's fine. I don't trust you.
Oh, you just had to ruin it. Everything was going fine again, and you had to turn things sour again. Out of the blue, and apropos of nothing, Enomoto blindsided me.
There's a pretty high likelihood that you're connected to the criminals in some way. Inagi says to loop you in on everything, but don't expect too much.
I was pretty stunned that he would just come right out and say that to my face. I think I have to say I understand. Please let these choices be right. I understand. It's natural that you would suspect me. Whether he understood me or not, the mistrust I saw reflected in his eyes was hurtful. He used to be a police officer. His devotion to justice is obviously going to make it hard for him to trust someone like me.
You can hardly expect me to completely open up to someone I just met yesterday. You understand, don't you?
Of course, it makes sense. I didn't really know how to answer that, so I just kept quiet. However, he just looked disdainfully at me.
That doesn't sound good. It's just, well, Yanagi's not the type to get tough on anyone. Takeru is quite rude, but he's very smart. His skill outweighs his negatives. You might not see it, but it's true.
I'm not really following him.
Shiraishi's, well, you should be cautious of him.
I am. Yes, I've gathered that much.
Huh, you're a mean one.
I didn't expect you to just agree with me. We shared a small smile. It felt like the first genuine smile I'd seen from him, so I relaxed a little.
Anyway, let's just hurry up and head on inside. I'm pretty sure we're late.
Of course we can't trust each other, but I can feel that Enomoto wants to be able to believe in other people. Aside from me, that is. It seemed like he was trying to make a point, but I didn't know what that point was. Still, when I watched him from behind, I didn't feel like he was capable of evil. There's something kind of childlike and innocent about him. December 6th, still, 11:30 p.m. Yanagi, Sasazaka, Enomoto and I continued our conversation from this morning. Is Kei gonna pop up? Apparently, Shiraishi was unavailable because he was occupied with police work. First order of business was my answer. As a police officer, I want to solve the X-Day case as soon as possible. I also really want to remove this collar. Solving the X-Day cases do both, so I'll do that. But, given the situation at the police station, I can only do so much, especially since I have no investigation experience. All of you have been investigating the X-Day incidents for quite some time now. I may not be of much help, but would you please allow me to work for you? They considered how to deal with me. As long as I was possibly tied to the perps, they'd have reservations about my inclusion. Inwardly, I trembled with anticipation and anxiety.
Understood. Since you're a person of interest, I want to respect your wishes. Either way, we can't really afford to take our eyes off you. If you're nearby, and it turns out that we have to deal with you, it'll make it that much easier.
They all responded differently, but it seemed like they all accepted me into the group. I was relieved.
This doesn't change our responsibilities for the investigation, does it? Correct. The rest of you will keep following the leads that you've been pursuing thus far. There's only so much we can do without more detailed analysis of the collar. We must prioritize the individual cases. Ugh.
Enomoto nodded, though his face showed a look of displeasure. Why is that?
You know, I've been wondering.
Sasazaka stared daggers, not at me, rather directed at Enomoto.
Have you been investigating anything lately?
For the slightest of moments, Enomoto stiffened up.
That's obvious, isn't it? Who do you think you're talking to? It's because it's you that I'm asking. Well, you eccentric idiot, answer my question. Shut up, man. We gotta decide what Hoshino's job is first. What? Don't try to change the subject. You fake eye patch wearing bastard.
Fake eye patch?
It's not like that at all. Watch your mouth, cyber seaweed.
Guys, now's not the time to be fighting.
Just leave them be.
My intervention was futile. No, I didn't intervene at all. Yanagi got all of them settled down with a mere sentence.
Enomoto, I also haven't seen you put much effort into the investigation lately. If there's a problem, I'll hear you out. Don't hide it from us.
Yanagi was trying to calm him down, but Enomoto seemed more restless.
I'm fine. Look, I'll be okay. Just carry on. I see. All right then. Now, Hoshino, there's something I want to ask you. Do you have a particular preference of what you want to investigate?
A preference? The nature of the MO of the X-Day crimes changed from month to month. None of the cases have been solved, aside from September where the suspect died. So we should look into other months. I don't know, the month with the suspect dying though, I still think there's other things that were going on that you could look into. If I chose to investigate a case that someone else was already assigned to, we'd obviously end up working together. So I want to work with Enomoto, of course. Seeing as how that's the case, I should choose my preference carefully. I'm sure that even a dumb cat like you knows that Adonis is responsible for the X-Day incidents. Even if the August perpetrator is unconnected to your abduction, there's a pretty good chance they know about your collar. We just need to capture a criminal from any month and get them to talk. That'll unlock the collar and lead us to their accomplices. I see.
As long as they don't commit suicide like the one from September, we should be able to find a connection to the larger organization. We could find a clue that leads us to the truth of X-Day, the letter mentioned. I hope it'll be that easy.
Adonis has been added to materials.
Hoshino, starting tomorrow you'll be helping us out. Make sure you've got a solid overview of the cases.
Yes.
Oh, we'll also need you to get information from other people at the station. Right now, that's the only definite use that you'll have to us. Whoa, no. If she screws up, she'd be exposed and fired. Then she shouldn't screw up. It's not that hard. Even Shiraishi can do that.
What do you mean, even Shiraishi? He's a very capable man, you know. And probably stands a better chance of doing all this than I do. Wait, are you telling me that Shiraishi is leaking information from the police department to you?
Well, he knows his way around the office. I don't expect much from a stupid cat. Shiraishi is eccentric. He just sends us whatever he feels like. If you can be useful, it'd be advantageous. Anyway, you don't have a choice. Just shut up and follow orders, stupid cat.
So Sasuke was really scary. I don't know, I think he's kind of annoying mostly. Especially right now. He's only scary when he's choking me. Annoyingly, I couldn't think of a comeback to his demeaning put-downs.
I know it won't be easy for you to sneak the intel out of the office for us. Just do what you can. If you have trusted contacts that supply you reliable information from the inside, that would be really helpful to us.
I'm not assigned to investigations, so yeah.
Of course, the police can't learn about why you're doing this, so you shouldn't trust just anybody. Sasasuke.
At Yanagi's behest, Sasasuke turned his computer screen so I could see.
You should probably start with forensics. Also, get a hold of this woman.
There was an image of a woman on his screen, along with a brief profile. It said her name was Kotoha Sakuragawa, and that she worked in forensics.
Oh, Sakuragawa. She might be a pretty big asset if we can use her correctly. She won't turn you down. After all, the cat here will be joining you in order to secure her cooperation. You lured her with meat, didn't you? Simple people are easier to hook. The bait wasn't cheap, though.
With a knowing smile, Sasasuke gestured at my collar. Meat? Looking at her profile, her favorite food was listed as meat. Meat? That just plain meat. Any kind of meat? So they swayed her with expensive food?
You have more connections than Shiraishi does, so you'll probably be somewhat useful.
How can that be, when Shiraishi's so much higher? Huh? But why can't Shiraishi just go and talk to this person?
That definitely won't fly. Sakuragawa doesn't like Shiraishi. As soon as she saw his face, she'd dash off.
I see. I think I know how she felt. He's scary, but in a different way than Sasasuke is. The way he acts, the way he looks at you like you're a lab rat, he's almost incomprehensible. I get the feeling that he's kind of like the people who put this collar on me.
If she blows you off, then entice her by dangling some tasty meat to tempt her. That'll do the trick.
So should I just take some jerky with me? Right.
There might be others you could potentially work with inside the office, but you should follow up on this one first. In our investigations, we've been visiting the crime scenes to gather info, but when it comes to new cases, we're always behind. I haven't been able to get anything valuable from scouring the police databases either.
How can that be? Eh?
What?
Nothing. I thought you were better than that. When Sasasuke was on the force, he used to work in the cybercrimes division. so he's probably been illegally accessing police computers. I had a feeling that was the case, but I didn't feel like voicing my suspicions. Yeah, I just let it go.
Anyway, try and help out however you can from within the police station.
Got it.
Shiraishi only works on the cases that pique his interest, but apparently he's still hitting obstacles.
It must be nice to be able to pick and choose. Suddenly, there was a knock on the door. Somebody's here? I made sure my collar was hidden, and then looked over at the door. Huh? Suddenly, Yanagi's hand covered my mouth. Huh? What is he? When I looked at him in confusion, he silently shook his head. He's telling me not to talk? I nodded, and Yanagi removed his hand. Detectives, this is the police. I'm here on a routine patrol. At this hour? Where have I heard this voice before? Ah! Okazaki? Ah. Yanagi, why'd you take your hand off my mouth? Everybody gave me a sharp look for blurting out Okazaki's name. I just heard a voice. If you're in there, please open the door. Ah, you screwed the pooch, Ichika. They all heaved heavy sighs, and I hung my head. Sorry. You seriously are one dumb cat. Ooh.
Sorry, Okazaki. Can't let you in today. We're helping a client now.
A client? Oh, you mean Cat, right?
Ugh. Cat? What the heck?
He's talking about me, actually. I told him about the time when Okazaki tried to talk to me.
Ugh. What's up with that? Well, you had to throw him off your trail. Shouldn't we match up our stories too?
We can just say we took a job from you, looking for a lost cat or whatever.
Okazaki knows that our detective agency is just a front. A flimsy excuse will just give him more reason to follow us around. Tch, what a pain. We don't need to get into that much detail. Real PIs must respect client confidentiality.
I nodded at Yanagi's explanation. Once I understood, he opened the door. Well, we did... Guys! You didn't decide for sure. You're just gonna come up with a story on the fly? Or are we just gonna tell him it's not his business? You finally opened up. Awfully rude of you pretending to be out. It means they don't want you here. Sorry, Kay. Okazaki strolled into the middle of the room and smiled at me. Good evening, kitty cat. Hello. For now, we've decided that I'll start contributing to the investigation tomorrow. If I stay here any longer, I might let something slip and cause problems. I should leave this to them and go home. Then that settles my business. Thank you for taking on my request. Pretending to be a client, I then started to leave the room. Hey, wait. Until Okazaki blocked my path. This felt familiar. It's late, so I'll take you home. A girl shouldn't be out alone at this hour. I knew it. But don't you have your own business to attend to here? It's okay, I can come back later. Why don't we get going now? He's saying all that while smiling again. I turned around to ask the people behind me for help, but...
It would be more suspicious if we stepped in.
Leave her. Even the stupid cat can handle Okazaki.
She managed this morning, so she'll probably be fine, I think.
They're giving up because I'm not worth it. Hey, shouldn't we hurry? It's getting too late. Your family might start to worry. My refusal this morning had no effect, and they wouldn't work now as I expected. I left the place with Okazaki, pushing my back. Don't push! I'm coming! Okazaki started heading in the direction of my home without asking for directions. He's only been there once. This guy's got a pretty good memory. During my odd feeling of admiration, I realized I hadn't said a word since we left. This is awkward. Hey, can I ask you something? Oh, sure. What is it? Okazaki gently broke the silence, as if he sensed the tension. although it'll be problematic if you ask something I can't answer. Back when you were at the detective agency. Ugh, straight to that? Besides kneeling, what else did you do? Kneeling? Oh, begging. What else? Yeah, I was thinking those guys don't seem like the type who would just take a job because you kneeled and begged them. It's kind of mysterious when I think about it. You see, tell him you cried. I desperately racked my brain and said what came to mind. The truth is, I paid them a large sum of money. I don't know whether or not they're in financial trouble, but I think that sounds like a valid enough reason to take a job. But they aren't really enticed by cash. I was aware of this, so I just felt like I had dug my own grave. Ah, I see. That makes more sense. I can see them doing that. But Okazaki nodded, as if he understood. I was relieved that I hadn't just blown it. Or maybe he's just letting you off the hook for now. If I had, he would really suspect me. That said, I did find it curious that Okazaki would accept money as a legitimate reason. He draws a government salary, right? Maybe he's fallen on hard times. My thoughts had wandered off on a tangent. Well, it doesn't have anything to do with Okazaki. I mean, the other guys aren't working for the police anymore. As far as I know, they're not actually employed, are they? Glancing at the Shinjuku office buildings, I thought of the future. And I'm going to have to think of the future now too and quit this video. And actually, we're still not caught up. I can't believe it. I thought we'd be caught up in like 2 or 3 videos. But this is like 5 now, and we're not caught up yet. Gah. Yeah, so I'm going to be putting out like 2 videos a day until I'm caught up. Must catch up. Need new stuff. I've been waiting for this game for over a year. Alright, well anyway. Hope to see you in the next video or in some of my other ones. And I'd be so grateful for any likes, comments, subscriptions, or shares with your friends to show some support. Thank you so much for joining me, and I wish you all health, happiness, and safety. Dirili signing out. Bye bye everybody.